Kingdom Hearts is a franchise that has hit some pretty decent highs and some pretty sad lows. Recently, it's leveled out with an ever so slight downwards trend, which I do not see having an easy recovery from. The presentation of the games have become incomprehensible at best. Picture this. You go to a friend who has never touched Kingdom Hearts before. The first hurdle is getting them to start playing. But for the sake of the example, let's say that they agree. They play 1, Chain of Memories, 2, just fine. But then you ask them to watch the cutscenes of 358 over 2 days, which is 3 hours long, recoded cutscenes, which are also 3 hours long, Birth by Sleep, which is a little better because it's split into 3 playthroughs, Dream Drop Distance, which LOL. And then finally, after all this, you get to Kingdom Hearts 3. And if they manage to get this far and actually finish 3, they will probably see the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer and be somewhat excited. Then it's at this point you point them to a movie version of Union Cross, which is 5 hours and 23 minutes. Then after that, you once again point them to another video, which is Dark Roads cutscenes, which clocks in at 4 hours. And then you ask them to play a rhythm game, which takes around 9-ish hours to beat, just for 25 minutes of cutscenes. Which, by the way, are very clearly just taken from Remind and tweaked to fit Melody of Memory. Then you ask them to play Missing Link, which is a Pokemon Go ripoff that has next to zero interest in it outside of people who actively live and breathe Kingdom Hearts. When you present this to potential new players, can you really blame them for not wanting to get into the franchise? I'm not even against Kingdom Hearts getting mobile games. If Square Enix, Disney, whoever wants to make more money, all the power to them. Like, sure, whatever, who cares? But the issue comes in when you make these mobile games canon to the point that they are dictating everything about the future of the franchise. 3 mobile games, and 2 of them are as important as playing 1, 2, or 3. And the argument of, oh, just don't play the games, or just watch scenes on YouTube, no one's forcing you to play them or spend money, simply will not work anymore. Especially with prominent Kingdom Hearts YouTubers and community figures. They're getting sick of them. Before Kingdom Hearts 3 released, everyone and their mother were hyped up for Kingdom Hearts 3. Who wouldn't be? Kingdom Hearts 2 is often considered to be one of the greatest action RPGs ever made. And Kingdom Hearts 3 was the first console game since 2. But when 3 released, it had issues. Some people overlooked them. Some people actively criticized the game because they saw the issues and they wanted to make Square Enix aware for the future. But these people were actively shooed out of the community because of their willingness to actively criticize the latest entry. People would compare systems to Kingdom Hearts 2, which is absolutely fair, as it's the last console release. But when you actually do compare the two, you're usually met with, oh, you're just a Kingdom Hearts 2 elitist. Or, if you hate the series so much, just leave. So, what did most of these people do? Oh, well, they just left. And now, some of these higher profile people who were once staples in the community barely interact with Kingdom Hearts anymore. Some examples of the community being toxic in response to criticism: I won't name names because I just don't want the drama. But about 2.5 years ago, there was a decently popular mod for Kingdom Hearts 1. It was called Critical Mix. If I recall correctly, it added the critical difficulty, it tweaked some combat. The combat was specifically made to be a bit more like Kingdom Hearts 2, I believe. I just think there was just like some extra stuff added to the game. It was a pretty sizable mod. And one day, the mod creator announced that they were ceasing development because of death threats, doxing, horrible things like that. That's all they said. Was that there just wasn't continuing with the mod because of death threats. And a prominent YouTuber in the Kingdom Hearts community, I will not name names because, again, I do not want drama, posts about this and just, with zero evidence, blames Kingdom Hearts 2 fans. Like, and then they actively argued with people when they got pushback. But then they also got a lot of people agreeing with them. It sucks. Another example happened to me specifically. Around the time Remind released, I got to the data fights. For a bit of clarification, I personally do not really like the data fights. I think they were very hit or miss, with mostly being misses. When I was attempting Data Terranaut, I realised the fight wasn't exactly great for accessibility because the boss's 3 main attacks, Fireballs, the dash attack, and the flurry, have the same startup animation and voice line. I don't really remember how I got talking to people on Twitter about this, but I made a video like showcasing like the animation, the voice line, and I also sent it to them. And instead of actually engaging in the criticisms I was making, like even if they disagreed, all they had to do was disagree. Say, oh, I don't really think that. Cool, whatever. But they just turn around and go, oh, you must suck at the game. Oh, you should stop playing. You suck. Like, what? I'm just criticizing. I'm in my right to criticize. You know? Like, the community has just become so unbelievably toxic over nothing. There's no reason for the community to be this toxic. Nothing has happened. I can probably think of like 5 other communities that are less toxic but have infinitely more reason to be toxic. It's impossible to engage in nuanced debate over this franchise anymore. If you dare criticize at any point, you are deemed a hater, an elitist, whatever you can be called, right? And you are just shooed away from the community. It sucks. I really, truly, and hope that things improve with the community and the franchise in general. Because I really do love this series. Not as much when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I was obviously younger. Disney, sick, right? It just hurts to see the games that I loved become a soulless, I want to say soulless cash grab, but I know that's not entirely true. I do think it's becoming a cash grab. I don't know if it's soulless. I definitely think 3 was a soulless, but not the rest. But also, what hurts me the most is to just literally watch the community implode on itself. Like, you can't do anything without toxicity being slung around. I'll never forget Kingdom Hearts 3 being announced in 2013. And then, I think it was the D23 trailer around that time, in 2013, that I made the Twitter account. I found a bunch of YouTubers that were making content on it. I followed them on Twitter. I would say I became friends with one of them, one of the YouTubers. but we haven't spoken for a very long time. I still follow him, but I just haven't spoken to him for a long time. And it just hurts to watch as time went on. I would say from 2013 to up to release, a couple months before release, it was bliss. Pure bliss. It was perfection. Pretty much. Even like when bad stuff was happening, it would be resolved pretty quickly. But now, if anything just triggers some toxic sludge getting chucked around, you know? Just to watch the community become this toxic wasteland over like the month. Do I want to say a month? Like the month or two like surrounding the release. To watch it actively become toxic was disheartening, really. It fucking sucks. And if this continues, this downward trend that I said at the beginning of the video, it's not going to recover. Because as I said, with the presentation, it's new people aren't really going to enjoy coming into this. And I want to say veterans, like people who have been around in the community for a while, they're getting shooed away because they don't particularly like where the franchise is going. So instead of engaging in debate, you go away then. I just felt like I needed to make this video. I don't really want to be toxic, negative or anything, because I do really hope things improve. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.